Voice for Impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
Great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
Hello. Welcome to yet another episode on Your Voice, Your Impact. Happy December. The celebration mood is already activated, all right? So welcome to December. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact show for this week. Today we are reflecting. It's a reflection season. So for the rest of 2024, we're going to be reflecting on, some of the things that we've learned, some of the challenges we've been through, and new discoveries, things that we're discovering, about ourselves, about life, about our careers, about even the show. And things like that. That's what we'll be reflecting on. So we invite you to be a part of the conversation. As a matter of fact, we're going to make it spontaneous. If you want to be on the show on the spot, okay, all you need to do is, if you're on Instagram, for example, just slide into my DM quickly, say, I want to contribute to the show, or on LinkedIn or something, or just type in the comments, right? And we'll send you the link, the studio link, to join us, to be a part of the show, like to come live with us, all right? So if you're interested in that, please send your messages now in the DMs, and I'll ensure that you get the links to be a part of the show. So I'm monitoring. If you see my face going this way, that way, I'm trying to monitor it on the different platforms that are currently on. We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All right. So the quality is not that great on LinkedIn, on Instagram, as I'm looking at it, but I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section that you can hear me clearly. I'm going to bring on Grace now, and we're just going to get into the conversation. It's just going to be myself and Grace today. We don't have any guests. It's been a while. It's been a while. Hello, baby.
Hello.
Missed you last week.
Hello. Yeah. Hi.
Uh,
So,
I hope
so,
you
so
watched
good to
last
be
week. I
back.
hope you watched last week this thing because we sang for you. We sang for you at last week episode.
Oh,
Better
you
go and watch
did.
it. Look
Hi.
at you.
I will
I
watch
know.
it. Wow. Nice.
Exam did not let you see
Oh.
road.
I'll definitely watch it. I mean, I just got myself yesterday from, I mean, last week, I was doing I had to go do something that took the whole of last week, and on my birthday people called me and they were like, why your phone, why didn't you put your phone on? I'm like, honestly, if you know what I'm doing right now, you would just tell me to keep at it, just go ahead. And for me it was very I think we'll talk about it while we start the reflection properly. But yes, I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very grateful to all of you that wished me happy birthday, and those of you that sang. I'm definitely going to watch it after now. Thank you, God bless you. They'll celebrate you as well. Thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. We celebrate you dearly, dearly. Thank you. Thank you for being the gift that you are, for being the amazing grace that you are. I pray that this new year, is going to bring everything that you hope for and more, right? In
Amen.
blessing, in liftings, in open
Yeah.
doors. In travels, babe, we need to travel this coming
It's
year, right?
very
So
definitely, definitely. It is happening. It is so happening this new year. Oh, tell me about it.
absolutely, absolutely. Hello, we're saying hi to you too. Thank you for joining us. I think, yeah, you're joining from YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Please be a part of the conversation. Today, we're reflecting, going forward, actually, to wrap up 2024. We'll be reflecting and just kind of focusing on different areas. And today, we want to focus on the lessons. Hey, I was thinking about like lessons learned. 2024 is a year.
Mm.
It's a year. But we give God praise. Hi, Maya. Hello, Maya Moore. Thank you for joining. Hi, we salute you, we greet you. Thank you for being a part of the show today. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. So please, you're welcome to be a part of the conversation. Um, yes, Gracie, if we're going to, reflect on 2024, whew, it's been a year, honestly. But yeah, what would you say are some of your top lessons?
Wow, strong,
That's, yeah, I'm
strong.
sure there are much, but like the ones that are standing out for you. Are there any coming to mind? Maya, we are well. Thank you. We are well. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you for asking. And please, you can go ahead and also share what your biggest lessons are in 2024. I will add it to the conversation. Please, Grace.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I would start by saying that what was that rush about? 2024 just came and it pew, right in front of, what is that? I'm like, wait, we're in February. Wait, we're in March. Hey, we're now in December. Goodness. 2024 was a sprint, or is still a sprint, if I might say. And I think it was because we had a lot to do, when we started. So this is the first lesson, and I'll just drop it as it comes. The first lesson is take everything you do as a project. Take everything you do as a project. I mean, we started this whole thing and we were just like, let's just go, let's see how it flows, let us meet a need per se. I mean, practically speaking, let us meet a need. And then we just started, and blam, 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 1 year. And then the next thing is we are rebranding. And the next thing is we're bringing global speakers. And the next thing, we are beginning to see how it's reflecting in our own personal lives. So, the number one thing I would say that this show has taught me, or probably I would say the show has nailed, what was probably previous knowledge, the show has helped me on a personal level to understand that whatever one is doing, take it as a project. That's number one. Number two, you
Mm.
can't. You can't do anything alone. You can't. Whether you like it or not, whether you are Superman,
Mm.
you can't do anything alone. Even if the
Or
idea is yours,
superwoman.
if a head superwoman, whatever, even if you are self-motivated, even if you get things done, no matter what, you need someone. So the beautiful thing about what I have learned personally, apart from, number one, taking everything as a project, secondly, get help, get a support system, collaborate. I think
Mm.
I've not said that enough, but I would say it again and again. This being on this show has showed me my weaknesses, has showed
Mm.
me my strengths, has showed me how the two of them are couples, husband and wife, and how they need to stick together to work hand in hand. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I have like 1 million, but that takes something as a project, and understand that you can't do anything on your own. I have always been an independent minded person. And when I mean independent minded is I would come because it worked for me when it worked for me. There are
Mm.
certain things that I have had to do on my own, with my own strength, with my own everything. Even though people helped me, but they were not the center of everything I did. But
Mm.
now I'm letting people be the center. I am letting people be themselves, their strengths.
Right. Mm.
And I'm allowing myself to receive help. I'm allowing
Mm.
myself to know that, Grace, you don't know everything. You know, you know certain things, but you don't know everything. You don't know everything. And you can tell from the work we have done together over the years, you without even if we were to sit down, and I'm sure it's something that we would do as a plan when we
Absolutely.
close the year, some of
Absolutely.
the areas that I know we have a lot of things in common. Our energy is unmatched. Like, we will be dragging which person energy gave us. Honestly, I don't know, right? I think I'll give it to you. Your energy past my own, I beg. But the ginger, when they say ginger mama, and it is very consistent. You find how
Right.
you know certain things about yourself is they will call you this thing here. You go to another place, they'll still call you that
It's a
thing,
pop
and you
off.
just know that, Grace, this is it. This is, what, just accept it. At some point,
Right.
again, another thing that I learned on the show, or I learned, while working with you, is that sometimes, before I accepted that ginger mom, because the first person that started calling me was Eromosele. Eromosele joined. We went to the same secondary school, and he would say, Ginger, he would call it, and I'm like, yeah, I used to hear that. And even me myself, I would say to myself that I know I'm the ginger, I am the spice, that I didn't think of it as a big thing. But I just know that, working with people and seeing that maybe one way or the other, my input
Mm.
would change the whole dynamics. I'll be like,
Right.
nice, nice. So yeah, I taking it as a project, taking anything you're doing with that mindset of this is a project that you're executing. You have to give it your all. Then
Right.
secondly, knowing that you can't do everything by
On your
yourself. You
own.
can't be
Mm.
independent, when you're doing certain things, but know when to ask for help and seek collaborations and seek support. And then thirdly for me is knowing that your strengths and your weaknesses are they need to be together, to copulate, to make love, and give you something in return. So those three critical things, I would say for now, are things that I have learned. It has become crystal clear if I was thinking before, no, I'm seeing it clearly because of, this work that we do
Mm,
here on Your Voice, Your Impact. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to learn some of these things about myself. It's a very pivotal moment for me. It's a self-awareness. This self-awareness thing. When you work on yourself, you are working on yourself. How do you know that what you're doing for yourself is yielding results? Is when you open yourself to things like this and you see how, because it's so easy for you to learn. I'm working on myself. How are you measuring it? I'm measuring it by
mm,
being consistent for 1 year plus, working with somebody that we've not hit our heads. I mean, it's a communication for us, my dear. It's the communication. I don't know how we're human beings. We can be angry at each other. We can see things differently, but it's how we eventually come together and then see, Ejiro, I don't know, that part, wallahi, I don't know. We just be like husband and wife. Say, even if we quarrel, we come sit down. And I think we can do this in our relationship as well. What I'm
absolutely.
learning from you, and I'm learning, working with you, is giving me, like, okay, with my partner, if we're disagreeing about something, and I'm like, can't you see it from my own point of view? And then I just chill. I mean, your point of view is important. Is real.
It's
It's
valid.
very
Mm,
solid. All I need to do is maybe tweak the question and explain it again to so that maybe we will come to a level playing ground. But I think what we do as individuals is that, this person is not just getting my point. Well, coach, you lot, Joe, you're not getting it. Go. But working with you has helped me to see that, look, those emotions will come, and some things, you may want it this way, I may want it that way. And I'm like, guess what? That's why we are working together. We can't always have the same point of view. We
point
need to
of
have
view.
different points of views so that when we now come, it's magic. Come on now. That I mean, it's so beautiful to learn. It's so beautiful to learn. I just feel that communication is the oil. It's the oil. And I think for all that
Honestly.
we have done so far behind the scenes, it's not even on the show really. It's the behind the scenes part for me, when we push, we do, like, yeah, 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 okay, this is it. Oh, okay. And then we now come together, and then I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, no,
I
no,
love
no,
it.
no. For me,
I love it.
that's
I love
that's
it.
a huge blessing. Let me just shut up. You know me now. I will go on and on. I will continue.
I love it. I love it. I mean, it's a lot to unpack to say, what are your top lessons of the year? Are you kidding me? It's almost 365 days, and if you're not consistently journaling, there's a lot that will go under the waters or under the bridge that you have actually learned. But it's only when you now maybe face a kind of situation, and when you react differently from the way you reacted before, then you be like,
I'm
hey,
growing.
is this me? Is maybe this?
Yeah.
And I have had um those kind of moments a lot this year that you know it just makes me so peaceful,
Yeah.
happy, content. Like, Ejiro, you don't grow. You are growing, and I'm loving it for you, girl. I am loving it for you. Like, it's so good that there are times like I enjoy walking, right? Thank God, except for summer. But thank God summer is over. So now it's a good time to walk. So I actually look forward to, if I and where I stay now is almost like a 15 to 17 minutes walk to the metro station. So I use the opportunity either to listen to music, but even when I'm listening to music, it's out of reflection and
Mm.
gratitude. So I put on very Afro gospel dancing song that my steps as I'm walking is dance. I'm sure, like I feel like if there's one person that stays on their balcony on that road and sees me going and coming every day, they'll just be wondering, like, I want to know what is making this woman happy all the time. And I'm just so grateful. But if I'm going to highlight some of the things that I have learned this year, is first of all, this thing you talked about, the year going fast, is to say that 1 year is not a long time.
Absolutely.
It's not a long time. So I say that because there are things that we want to do. And when we look at it, we think like, it will take me 1 whole year to build this brand, or it will take me 1 whole year to even have any tangible results. 1 whole year. But my sisters and my brothers, is it not 1 whole year that I've passed like this? Imagine if this time last year we were saying, Omo, we've been doing this thing for 6 months. Nothing is really showing. Whoa, let's go and do something else. If I started something else with that same attitude, we'll probably have changed again. Like, this one is also not working, let's change. But look at how consistent we've been. It's been 1 year and a half, 18 months of consistency, and see how the ripple effect has been. If we looked at it from the beginning, like in 18 months before you would think of coming up with a rebrand, 18 months before you would think of actually getting sponsorships on your show. Do you see? If you think at 18 months before anybody will look at you to say, okay, we want to be on your platform, if we looked at all of those things to want to dot the T's and dot the I's and cross the T's at the beginning, we probably will not even start at all. So I learned through this journey that 1 year is such a short time when you position your heart for the long haul. And I feel like when you use that mindset for anything you want to do in your life, it gives you staying power to think about the impact first than the immediate results, the instant gratification. Like, everybody's buzzing. Am I going to buzz with everybody? Do you see? I hope you can still hear me. Yeah, okay, right. I can hear you now. I can see you because your face went a little bit slow, right? So that's one thing I've learned, that 1 year is not such a long time. So whatever it is that you want to do, start. You will think 1 year is long. It's not. Start and stick with it. Try. I know it's hard sometimes to be putting your all into something and it's not looking like anything is showing up for it. I know it's hard. I've been there. Do you see? But I can tell you that if you are able to stay, and I'm not saying stay against all odds, even when things are not working. No, that's not what I'm saying. Because for us, there are a couple of things that we've changed over the past 18 months that we've been doing this. There are things that we talk to ourselves about and we keep adjusting and making adjustment as we go, right? So, but that consistency, if you can build it in one area, I think one of the reasons is easier for me personally is because this is my forte. This is my genius zone, being on the screen, speaking, presenting, and things like that. So if I'm using it as an anchor to push past that resistance that we feel around anything that we do in life, anything that is worth doing, we always feel some level of resistance, right? So I'm using this area where it's my strength. Like it's a thing that I have come to love, master, and I can only get better in this field of presenting, of hosting shows and things like that, right? I can only get better. It's my space. It's one space that when I'm in, every other thing is a pause. Like every other thing freezes. I can forget every other thing, but like, okay, in the moment, let's do it and everything, right? So that's it. So use what is almost like something you love as an anchor to practice whatever virtue, whatever gift that you want to practice, right? Because there's that saying that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So there are things outside of being presenter and everything, or being a coach, or things like that are life that I could easily want to give up on because it's not working. As little as maybe a tech gadget, or a new app that you want to learn that you need for the work that you're doing. And it's getting complicated. Like, why is this thing complicated? Why is this thing not working? Before, I was just like, I beg, let's move on to the next application or the next platform that will work. But now I'm like, no, why is it not working? It has worked already for somebody. So why is it not working? Where can I get results? Thank God for YouTube. Like nowadays, sometimes it's a name that will come to my mind. Like, go and ask this person. The moment the name comes, like, have you asked YouTube? Have you Googled it? Before you go and ask somebody now, they'll be like, Auntie, there's Google now. Go and Google it or use ChatGPT or something, right? But that staying power is what I have built. And this is one thing that has really stuck for me in 2024. Another thing that I've learned in this year is that it's easy to say, know yourself, master yourself, and all of that. But if you do not allow yourself to be mastered, you will not master yourself. You will keep lying to yourself. You will keep defending yourself. You will keep being defensive. But when you let yourself go, you'll be able to learn and grow. Case in point, even this show, coming on this show, learning from Grace, collaborating with her, and opening myself up to being vulnerable enough to talk about things. Like, I know communication is key, but there's a difference between knowing something and actually doing things or acting on what you know. There are a lot of knowledgeable people in the world today, but not a lot of doers. And that's why we still have a lot of people who are brilliant, talented, but it's not correlated. I was there. So I'm not saying this to castigate anybody. I was there where you know your onion, you know what you're doing, but you're not doing what you know. And there's no way you're going to get results if you're not doing what you know. It doesn't matter how much you know if you're not doing what you know that you should be doing. So this year, I have learned that, see, no matter how hard it is, if you can push past that hard and just do what you know you should do, you will get the result you should get. Now, the speed or the pace or the portion of how much result you get, that's not on you. You cannot decide, you cannot determine, because sometimes there's also the part of, the part of God, the part of the universe, or and I don't mean universe as in a deity, but the way that things work generally, principles, the principle of time, the principle of seed and harvest. So for all the type of plants and seed that exist, there are I don't know what is, I've forgotten what it's called in plants, but if for animal is gestation. I don't know what it's called for plants, but the season where they bring out their fruits is different for different plants. The amount of time you plant corn and the amount of time you plant even like avocado or apple is not the same time that they will bring out seed. But if you sow and you cultivate and you water and the soil is good and the environment is good, they would bring out their fruit in their season. All right. So I learned that this year, that, see, just learn and do the things that you need to do, what you know to do it, and you will eventually get your results. It might not be in the same time frame that has worked for others, but you will get it. I heard something. I'm currently taking a short program because I'm collaborating. So watch out for this, right? I'm collaborating. A collaboration is another thing I learned this year. Like, see, like you said, you can't do it alone. It's not possible. Even Superman. If Superman were alone, who will he save? He needed people in distress to save. So there is nothing you can do alone. Even Jesus, if there were no human being to save, there was no point for him to come and die, right? So you can't do anything alone. So we'll be putting up a program soon. And one of the things I'm learning from that course is, and one of the things one of the top speakers in that course was saying was I lost my train of thought. But anyways, coming back to what I was saying about, the thing I'm learning, collaboration, is that at the end of the day, when you're no, what was I saying before I said collaboration? Now, along, Ijiro, put your thoughts together. Okay? Calm down. Put your thoughts together. Okay, it will come back to me as they're talking. It
You,
will
you
come
were
back
you
to
were
me.
talking you were talking about collaboration, and that you're collaborating in a collaboration. So you wanted to explain that, and while you were still explaining that, you now said that That's one thing you have learned again this
Mm,
year about collab.
yeah.
So you're still, it's still, except maybe there
Around
was something else, but
collaboration.
from what you were able to say, it was more about collaboration.
Right, right, right. So I wanted to share something that the course, the training I'm going through. There's something one of the speakers said. I think I wanted to use that to buttress a fact, but everything just jumbled up again, right? But what I was saying before that is to say that you release yourself to learn, right? You release yourself and do what you know, that is that you know these things. You've heard it a lot of time that communication is good. But if you don't put yourself in a situation where you are able to communicate, then you are not going to master the art of communication. And that's something that our collaboration has taught me, right? Like you said, there were many times than not where we were trying to get to the same point. We were trying to say the same things, but we're saying it from different perspective. And sometimes it's frustrating. Like, Kini again. So what is she saying? What am I saying? We're trying to say the same thing, but we're saying it differently. But one of the things that we both have done over the last 18 months that has just kind of solidify our relationship, because 18 months is just on this show, but we've known each other for over 4 years now about that, right? So but that communication is coming back to say, okay, calm down. What is Grace trying to say in this moment? And in that communication now, for me is, I have a friend that always comes for me with this, but I've always been adamant. I don't know, maybe because I I I already built a box for this person in my mind. So when they come like that, my first reaction is defense. Even when they say something innocent, my first reaction is defense. And I just caught that recently. But this our own relationship is teaching me to say, can you pause? Can you stop being judgmental? Because the truth is, when I'm with you, Grace, the plus the coaching plus the growth that we're undergoing comes into play. And as coaches, you don't assume, you don't judge, you don't have any premeditated thoughts about any conversation. You come into the conversation blank, with a blank canvas, and let the conversation flow, just using curiosity. So I have now learned that. So every time I'm now relating with other people, I come back like, if you're talking to Grace, how would you have an open mind? And it helps me to have an open mind to say, don't 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 come with any premonitions. Look at what this person said now, in this moment, not what they said yesterday, not in the context of what they've done before or what they did to you before that upset you. No, in this moment, this thing they said now, should it upset you? What if it was just an innocent comment? So why are you reacting based on something they said before? Calm down. Listen.
You know, Ejiro, please, I don't mean to jump you, but if I don't say this one now, you just gave me an aha moment. You just gave me an aha moment, and I think we're all guilty of this. You know, all of us having a mindset about someone is just going to make sure that everything they say, whether they are saying the right, you have a mindset, and I'm guilty of it. And this is a moment I want to say that really, I don't know, it is we're learning every day. I think we should give ourselves grace, because you
Mm,
mentioned that, and then immediately you just said, if you were talking to Grace, because you just probably, created a persona or a mindset about Grace, and based on our work together, you have created. So
right.
if we were able to just create that level playing ground with other people, it will help us to deal with stuff in that moment. I just needed to I mean, that
Yeah.
was an aha for me, and I just needed to drop it. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And for me, it has just changed. It has just changed the dynamics for me, Grace. You can't even imagine it. That's like, it's now helping me to isolate scenarios or events, not in blind isolation, but like, how you can then it helps you with separating people and events. And so it makes you more objective, because now it's like, it's not about this person, it's about this conversation. So if you remove the lens that you used to see this person that you were angry with yesterday, and just look at this conversation now, you could just feel, say, ah, okay, actually, now, let's talk about it. Do you see? And I'm like, wow. And I'm still exploring it, but I'm loving it, because there is an amount of peace that it brings, that now I am not afraid of any kind of conversation, no matter how tough. You remember one of the conversation I had recently, that I'm like, what do I do with this now? What do I do with this conversation? Like, how do I handle it? But I love that we were able to walk through that situation together, and it just opened my mind up, like, hmm, okay, actually, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. And honestly, it's just like it's intertwined. So the coaching lifestyle and then the communication, it's just, everything is, it's almost like I'm getting into a state of flow, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. Before I continue, if you need to put in your thought, and please, if you're listening to this and you just want to share one of your top lessons that you've learned this year, please don't be afraid to put it in the comment section, and we can talk about it as well. All right. um One of the last thing I wanted to talk about, as in, what I'm learning, talking about flow, is that this year I have learned how to listen to my emotions. So um I don't know if it's just emotion. um maybe, well, so your mental state is connected to your emotions, right? Your mental state is connected to your emotions. So
Your
I've learned to
emotion is your
listen
mental state.
with your mental,
That's it.
they are
They're
connected.
all
So
coordinated.
so I've been able, I mean, it could always be better. There's always room for improvement, but I've been able to listen to that. And so
Mm.
it's almost like there is a thin line between, pushing yourself and not knowing when you're crossing the line in
Mm.
comparison, where you're saying, I'm being motivated, I'm being self motivated, but actually, yeah, it's not that you are self motivated, that you are seeing something. You have seen something,
Mm.
you have heard something that triggered something that is now pushing you. So that ability to say, to own your emotion, to know that, okay, is this emotion mine? Like this
Mm.
gragra that I'm doing now, is it mine? Like this, I want to do, I can do this. Is it mine? I mean, is this somebody else's own? Is this something I saw? Is something I heard that I've picked up? And there's nothing wrong with hearing, seeing, and picking things that that will work for you. But it's good to also know that, is it mine? Why I say that is, there are times in your life when your journey, your life demands that you slow down.
Mm.
And there are times that your life and your journey demands that you're on the fast pace, because there is urgency in your spirit, in your journey. You know that, oh God, I say you should do this thing. God is telling you to do this thing. So there are seasons like that. But there are also times that you pick up the urgency from somebody else, or you slow down because of somebody else. So
Oh,
understanding that, ah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
dear,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Finish it.
peace,
Finish it for me. Mm.
the peace. So I'm
It's
really,
sweet.
I'm grateful. I'm great. This year has been.
You know when they say that you can't there's a popular saying that this life you cannot figure out this life. There are several things you cannot figure out because they are you know in psychology you say variables, external things that would but they are
Mm,
constant. And constants would be what you have to do from your own end. Some of the things that this is you, this is who you are in terms of what you
mm,
want. There are certain things that would stand out, that this is what you want. I was going to say that when we started the year, I've never really been I've always liked to say let's go with the flow. But that let's go with the flow is not let's just go with the flow, because I have a mental plan. You see, when
Mm.
you have a mental plan, let's go with the flow, is because I have married my mental plan with my physical plan to go with the flow. You see what I mean?
Mm.
So I am very intentional. I use that word a lot, and it's beginning to like Grace. Maybe you should look for another word that is synonymous to intentional. But it's the truth. I can tell you, I always say that I learn in hindsight, and that's because I am a researcher by
Mm.
training. I am a researcher by training, and that research has helped me that even on this show, like you were talking about you catching your emotions and everything, and then you trying to see how it is your mental. When they talk about, generally speaking, our thoughts, what we think, how we think affects how we
What we
feel. And then
feel,
how we feel
affect
is
how we
what our
act.
behavior, how we act, is what our behavior is would turn out. And that feel a lot has to do with emotion. So when you're talking about, what's that thing that somebody is making you do, that somebody is forcing you to do, that it's not really your own, you say you're self-motivated, are you really self-motivated? You don't know what you did there by stating that.
Mm.
Absolutely true. We cannot deny it. Sometimes we are moved by certain things we see. But
Right.
if you've been able to build yourself to a point where those things that come up from the external is not entirely new. Is something
Right.
that is intricate, is already inside.
Right.
There's an English word I'm looking for. It's already inside. It's just that thing is like a reminder. Oh, you had this, you wanted to do, so is this. So it's not like you're picking what's not yours. Somebody said something recently. The person was just talking about certain things that some people did or did not do and everything. And then I said something. I said, this may sound very somehow, but I don't envy anybody. I
Mm.
don't. And it sounded, and when I said that, I went back to my drawing book and I'm like, Grace, when you were saying that you don't envy anybody, what exactly did you mean? What were you saying really? Sit down
Do
to
you
and
mean?
answer. And
Mm.
I said, it's because I had the conversation with myself, very seriously. Like, when you're like, is that pride? What do you mean? Can you do? I said, no, sincerely speaking, I can't be another person. You may inspire me to do something, but I
Mm.
know without a doubt is that I will never be like you. You will never be like me. And from that alone, I can
Mm.
tell you without a doubt, when you pick up people's things that don't belong to you and you want to copy them and do it, you can get inspired. We are human beings. We mimic. That's what differentiates us from other. We mimic.
Yes, but
Monkeys
that's what we're
do
saying,
one
that we
thing.
need each other. Mm. Mm.
We need each other. We mimic, yeah. But you will never mimic somebody to a point where you would have the same results because you're uniquely you. When I tell people that, look, the power that me I carry,
Right.
even me, I don't know. I don't know, because there's some things that we face head on, and I'm doing it. Like, I'm like, Grace, where is this coming from? And I'm like, I'm sure the God that gave me knows how He would
Mm.
navigate. Because even me, I don't know. So if you want to do things like me, my dear, I don't even know this energy and this power
Uh,
where it's coming from. It's not for me. It's not for me. So you better find your own energy and find your own what's unique to you and do it.
right.
Because I know that I bring something that I sometimes ask myself, how is that? So when I asked myself that question and I told myself that, Grace, hope you're not coming from a place of pride or you're being full of yourself. I'm like, and then I answered the question and I saw that no, I was coming from a place of, it. You are a universe on your own. You have over
You
50
know
trillion cells.
yourself.
You have over 50 trillion. You've not even finished talking to your inner self. You've not finished talking to the cells inside of you to work in harmony, to work in tandem for your own personal growth and development. You're busy carrying another
To
people's
walk in
50
your full
trillion, over
potential.
50 trillion up and down. to give yourself headache. And I'll finally say this before I go. Nobody, I repeat, and this is to everybody that cares to listen. Your joy can never define my joy. My joy can never define your joy. There are several
Mm,
things that we can put together that this thing makes people happy. This thing does this for this person. This thing. But when it comes to the real inner peace,
mm.
inner joy, yours can never be mine. And I'll just waiting you love, oh, no be waiting I love,
Waiting I
oh,
love, oh, waiting I love, I go do am with all my heart, oh.
love my heart,
Da dun
oh.
dun no be vodka, Mr. Money Ginger. You know I know the waste time, Mr. Money Ginger.
And that
Hey,
that 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 wraps it. That wraps it.
hey.
I am I am I am I am I am gifted.
Really at the top,
I am
but we are at the top
satisfied.
now. We are not lonely.
Yeah, well, not to now that song no complete finish. Well, that loneliness is based on you
Ginger,
have I don't even know what it means, but at the end of the day, some people will
I
define
think
what should make you happy. But
his
some people
choice.
would
His choice.
say, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
mean, we have really touched on some of those things, and then I am very grateful for the opportunity to serve. I always see that everything I do comes from a place of service. That's why if I'm low, this is therapy for me. If I'm low, no matter how low, once we just get and we are now live. The touchlight will be like pew pew, you know, and everything will fall in place.
Oh. Honestly, find your spark. There is something. There is something. And it doesn't even have to be something extraordinary, right?
Mm.
Hold on. Oh. So find your spark. Find that thing that sparks you up. See, it doesn't have to be for us now. We don't say our spark because, like she said, no matter the weather, once you say, "Oh yeah, come and share," you have the opportunity. In fact, there are days that you feel like I don't feel like going out. I don't feel like doing anything, but the opportunity for you comes to share the life. The go be like say body dey warm, they no fit stop you again. Or that's because you found your spark, your voice, your impact, and we're using our own voice here. And again, may have come to terms with it, Gracie. Like, see, this voice thing is my space, and I'm going to own it with my full chest. When it comes to the matter of your voice, whether it's your literal voice or your implied voice, I am your activator, and that's what I'm positioning as. How that will unfold in the coming months, weeks, months, years, we would see. But that is when you hear voice, anything that has to do with the voice, you should my name should be mentioned there, energetic EJ. So, my name should be mentioned there, energetic EJ. So, and I'm just grateful for the journey that has brought me here. And I'm grateful for you, Grace. Grateful for, just taking that leap of faith that we just took. Like, you know what, let's make this a thing. And 18 months in, we're here. And it can only get better from here. It can only get better. So, again, thanks to everyone who has been a part of our journey on Your Voice, Your Impact. I want to speak this out again because I also believe in the power of words. And some that there is power. There are no words without the voice. Okay. So there is power. And so because there is power, and I know it, and I'm reminded recently, and I'm activating that power again, I'm speaking this forth. We are on a journey on Your Voice, Your Impact to hit 10,000 subscribers. Not because we want to hit it for hitting sake, no, but because we know we have impact. I just finished a visibility boot camp with the women of Ruby's yesterday, day before yesterday. I had a visibility boot camp, yesterday. I was the moderator. It's power packed, with counselors, with ministers from Canada being in the room with us. Amazing women, powerhouses. And Esther, who is my friend, my childhood friend, God bless her heart. Like, it's been amazing. Anyways, so she said something during the visibility bootcamp that we've even, if you check, the hashtag visibility bootcamp 4.0, you would see it online, right? Yeah, you will see it online, right? So you see, she says visibility is not vanity. One of our goal is to hit 10K subscribers by the time we're 2 years old in July pact. So I'm speaking it forth now. So please be a part of that story. Let it be said about you that I like this lady. So they used to speak. I've heard a lot of people come to us personally. They watch you, they will not comment, they will not like, they will not share, but they will come to you directly and say, you girls are doing a lot. I just love your show. Thank you for loving it. But please help us hit this mark. I know it looks like far fetched, but I know it's possible. All right. Just one of you now can just share to 500 people. Help us get that 10K subscribers. I know it looks like far fetched, but I know it's possible. All right. Just one of you now can just share that link now to like 5,000 people. And out of the 5,000, 1,000. So imagine if 10 of you like that share to 500. We hit that 10,000 in no time, right? So I'm speaking it forth. This is one of our goals, and we're not forgetting it or putting it aside. It's still one thing we're doing. Also, we put out another thing I looked down people, like you will see that they are doing hard work. They are doing what they're supposed to do, but it's like the result is not correct. They are fighting on the inside to even get the little result that it seems like they are getting. So don't look at them based on their result because you don't know the battles that they are fighting, right? I say this to say you might look at your voice, your impact like a tiny platform and you don't know, we are great people. We're just unfolding small, okay? We put out an opportunity. One of our sponsors gave us an opportunity, and we called out for people to apply to win that slot. Only one person showed up, and I'm glad that she's going to get that because at the end of the day, she doesn't even have any competition. But we're going to wait out the time that we gave. We said we're going to publish on the 1st of December, and on the 16th, we're going to announce. So the next what's it called now? The next just you don't know. All right. I just want to say that. Put it out there. Like, don't overlook any opportunity. Don't think that any opportunity is small because you don't know what other doors that opportunity can open for you. All right. So this is where we are drawing the curtain today on reflections. Next week, we're going to come back again on reflections and probably focus on something else. Today, we focused on what we've learned. Next week, we're going to focus on something else. Gracie, do you have any parting words as we close out the session?
Be intentional. As always, I would say be intentional, use your voice for impact, no matter where you are. You see that your small status, make it your impact zone. Just do something to put it out there for someone to be impacted. And see you next week. Hopefully, we'll be saying something that can also help you um, do great things. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for joining today. God bless you from every part of the world that you joined us today. We'll talk to you next week, Monday.